Yes, the floor is yours, Carlotta.
Okay, so as I was saying just a few minutes ago, the Romualdo Del Bianco Foundation and its Life Beyond Tourism movement, Travel to Dialogue, are very glad in the opening of the Life Beyond Tourism Info Day in Stremiński Academy of Arts in Lodz. That is the first real and concrete initiative of collaboration after the signature of a memorandum of understanding by Director Wachowski, to whom I convey my appreciation and greetings. I also would like to express our appreciation to Professor Sadowski, who actively operated for realizing the initiatives, as well as to the Deputy Rectors, Magdalena Kacperska and Artur Chanowski, for their valuable support. With your participation, the Academy of Art Stremiński in Łódź entered in the group of institutional members of the Life Beyond Tourism Travel to Dialogue movement. And we have a special web page on the lifebeyondtourism.org portal in the section of institution, in which the Academy has just been inserted, and you have a special section in which you can promote and introduce the Academy and its initiatives. As many of you know, the purpose of the Romualdo Del Bianco Foundation and its Life Beyond Tourism movement is to contribute in creating exchanges and interconnections between different cultures, starting from the awareness of one's own identity, while respecting diversities and involving young generations in it. The Life Beyond Tourism movement does emphasize the vision of a commitment of World Heritage Sites and their people as well, so the community, rich in visitors from different cultures, to use this wealth to make themselves available to the international community, to encourage intercultural encounters, sharing, and solidarity. In details, Life Beyond Tourism is not tourism. It is primarily a commitment in increasing the region's awareness and interest of young people in local cultural identity and their capacity in contributing to the attractiveness of the sites they live and work, and to the cohesive territorial development based on mutual respect and intercultural dialogue between the local communities and visitors' community. In other words, it is a purpose for a new cultural and commercial offer, where local communities, I would say the learning communities, as in Life Beyond Tourism glossary are cited, become travelers inclusive by transforming the hasty visitor into temporary residents, by making local art and culture as effective factors of intercultural encounters and dialogue beyond tourism, indeed, for far beyond tourism, life beyond tourism. So nowadays, the international programs of Life Beyond Tourism Info Days marks a new turning point in our action, because from the scientific, like conferences, workshops, and educational workshop courses, and so on, activities produced so far, now we are all together turning to offer to the students and their tutors the possibility to be part of an operational experience on site, to cooperate to the practical implementation in your territory, in your region, of the Life and Beyond Tourism methodology, to which evolution also which is invited to contribute. So what in practical we would like to work on together? So we would like to create a working group of students to learn about live beyond tourism, travel to dialogue, ethos, and courses and project guidelines, as Corina will explain later. Produce a cultural storytelling on your territories by implementing the methodology of live beyond tourism, a work that, according to the live beyond tourism criteria, put into light the authenticity of your local cultural expressions, traditions, and customs, traditional know-how, and the typical products from that know-how, and be the bearer and conveyors protector, I would say, of those values and knowledges in the international community of the foundation, as recently did the young students of the new Higher Educational Institute of Tbilisi from CMEMO Kartli. And afterwards, Simone will show you what is a sort of output that comes from the activity they did. And to enhance the international visibility of your works by our portal, social newsletter, initiatives, thus promoting the Travelers for Values inflow and Travelers inclusive communities. And to exhibit your work during an international festival we are planning in Florence for next fall, 2021, probably November, that ideally will unite youngsters at intercontinental level in the growth of their awareness about the importance of the interpretation of their culture and the importance of communicating it in a strategic way, even through images. And Simone will give you further details later on. By displaying your live beyond tourism cultural storytelling on your territory, either in a suitable and special section of the movement portal and in Florence, we all will be committed in an increasing the region's awareness and interest of young people and local communities in the original cultural resources, as well increase attractiveness in terms of number and potential flows of visitors who are sincerely moved to learn and to live their experience of travel, thus contributing to the intercultural dialogue between local communities and travelers' communities. So change the perspective of travelers. And we strongly believe that this is a crucial activity, especially for the universities and all the educational centers, because the pronounced globalization process, nothing to say the current pandemic, brought tourism to destroy progressively the identity of many of these landmarks and local traditions and customs, which is a very painful damage for the younger generation. Well, by promoting a civic engagement for cultural identity, engender a sense of awareness for belongings, contributing to foster cohesive and inclusive community, and changing tourism in hospitality for inclusiveness, solidarity, and dialogue, we are confident that all the universities, communities, and your students' academy community will realize how to better interpret and communicate their local identity for prompting a new form of travel, thus contribution to lay the groundwork for territorial development, but also to a human progress in terms of sharing identities, intercultural dialogue, and inclusiveness. So in other words, they will realize how the implementation of the live beyond tourist travel to dialogue methodology in their territory we realize the combination of the UNESCO Convention 1972, so the World Heritage, the 2003 Safeguarding of Intangible Cultural Heritage, 2005 Protection and Promotion of Diversity of Cultural Expression, and the ICOMOS ESC Charter and Aim. Thus, we believe that your students will live an experience that allows to deeply and deploy their intellectual potential to enhance their professional practice and gain international experience within the framework of the network of the foundation. Our strong invitation, therefore, in the post-pandemic is to rethink the concept of interpreting heritage and travel, retracing the philosophy and practice of life beyond tourism with the 2019 manifesto of the Romualdo Del Bianco Foundation, up to its 2019 appeal to the international community, which is called Heritage for Building Peace. Very soon, we will review it and share with our international network before presenting it to the international organization. And you are strongly invited, of course, to cooperate in this re-lecturing of the appeal. So I would like to conclude by making again my congratulations to you, dear professors, and your students for participating and for your closeness and belief in these new educational challenges that the foundation would like to undertake together with its most reliable and active partners, like your Straczynski Academy of Arts of Law is. So thank you very much. I give back the word to Simone to go on in our meeting of today. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, dear Carlotta. Now let's go straight to my presentation that originally was aimed to give, to provide some further information to your students. Nevertheless, I will do it again, and I try to go quicker and faster, just to keep in time all the schedule that we prepare since our meeting. So let me share my video. Okay, and okay, here you are. You see my presentation, right?
Yes, we see.
Thank you. Just a moment. Okay. And of course, we open thanking again the Straczynski Academy of Art of Law for his trust and belief in participating in our project. Just to remind that our foundation was born to promoting knowledge between countries of different culture and contributing to the affirmation of the universal values such as respect and harmony. And especially this message is for the young generation of students that are, of course, our future. Since the beginning of the activity of the foundation and later of the movement, a special attention has been dedicated to educating young generation in be part of cultural barrier that are anyway also agents of dialogue, mutual knowledge and respect. And through our vision, our mission is just to promote the knowledge of diversity of cultural expressions, the various territory with their know-how. So from the higher principle, ethic principle of building peace and intercultural dialogue, we arrive step by step and to concentrate our activity in educating people in knowledge, respect of cultural diversity, cultural expressions in the territories. So this is a panorama, world panorama of the agreement that we activated so far with the university in 111 countries in 5 continents. And of course, as Carlotta just said before, Life Beyond Tourism would like to create a sort of connection, a synergy between the UNESCO Convention 72 of the cultural heritage, 2003 for the cultural diversity, and 2005 interpretation and presentation of cultural expressions. I'll go on, and in particular, we are starting from studying a sort of new cultural, a commercial a vision of the heritage that rely upon the capability of attracting people and opportunity to build interpersonal relationship, the opportunity to enhance local tradition and the contemporary art and culture of the places, and their capacity to inspire in the minds, emotion, and behavior of young generations and travelers toward the openness to knowledge and intercultural dialogue. So this was just one picture that we are used to see many times in many places in the world, of course, before the pandemic, but that represented a sort of approach to the cultural and artist heritage that missed the opportunity of an ethic and a social commitment. Let me now, I would like to share with you, and please tell me if the recent video, do you see the recent video that we created? And I would like to highlight the keywords on that video that resume our mission, our activity. You see the video?
No.
No, just a moment.
Just a yellow screen.
Sì,
With the link.
devi condividere la pagina del video.
Yeah, now you see?
Sì. Però non sentiamo l'audio. È nei dettagli della condivisione.
Okay, let's back to the
Simona, it seems like your microphone is muted.
Okay, so you see again, and you hear again. Apologize again for my not well proficiency in managing this tools, I go on anyway for our presentation. And again, our commitment in creating and realizing a new kind of travel, storytelling, and concept of fruition of heritage in the respect of the planet Earth, and supporting also the development of every region. These are, in few words, what we are trying to instill in the mind of the students that we would like to involve in our project. So go on with my presentation. Here you are, one of the main tools that we activated, and it is the portal lifebeyondtourist.org. And I am also glad in informing that very recently we have also opened a special web page dedicated to the Academy of Arts of Łódź. And I will circulate the link to you later. So the portal is at the windows through which we would like to disseminate and promote the works of the students that are produced according to the principle of Life Beyond Tourism. The Life Beyond Tourism Info Point Network is another operative tools that we activated. It is a network that is growing day by day, and made up by university who decided to adopt and take part in this in our project of promotion and enhancement of local art and cultural identity. So far, the Life Beyond Tourism point is made by universities that, like your, have decided to create to organize a Life Beyond Tourism Info Day and to involve their students in promoting the cultural storytelling of the territory they are living in and working in. So this is at present the geographical representation of the universities that are taking part to the network of the Life Beyond Tourism Info Point, and of course also Poland is well represented. Some picture from the previous one in Ivanovo, in Riga, in Durham, in Vilnius, in Tambov, in Togliatti, in Baku. And this is the list of the universities that hopefully in the very short time, like Łódź, will join the projects and contribute to the efforts in promoting the representation and interpretation of the local identities through the eyes of students. So we are talking about storytelling of the cultural identity through the arts and cultural expressions. Here there is a quotation by what the concept of cultural expression according to UNESCO definition. I mean, those expressions that result from the creativity of individual, group, and society, and have a cultural content. So your students will be, but our students, I talk also about our students because we feel like part of our commitment, will be called to give our own interpretation and vision of which are the local expressions of their territory. And doing so, we are sure that we will instill in them a shared identity and sense of place, and also engender a sense of belongs and ownership, and to promote an engagement of local communities and contribute to foster income generation capacity of local cultural expressions. So cultural expressions are artisan, local products, common saying, typical foods, but also typical expression in art and craft and landscape and architecture, of course. And here you are, the pillars, let's say, of the initiatives that the program that the foundation and the Life Beyond Tourism movement will undertake on 2021. That are the photo exhibition Florence in the World and Florence, and I guess that you receive already from us the package of the exhibition, the 14 panels, and we hope that soon it will be possible to open in your academy this exhibition in order to exhibit in which way, according to the vision of Life Beyond Tourism, we have interpreted Florence and its surroundings. So this was just the first step of our collaboration to host this photo exhibition. The second one is the participation of your students in the storytelling program, Back to Life, Revitalization of Places Post-COVID-19. So we will invite your students to produce according to a special guideline that we will share, and after having attended an e-learning course that we will put at the disposal of the academy for free and available on our portal, we will, after these two steps, we will invite them, the students group that you will select, to produce a storytelling of the places where of a watch and the surrounding. Because, and this is the third step that you see in the screen, in fall 2021, as Carlotta said, the end of November, we would like to organize, COVID permitting, but we are confident, an international regional festival gathering the works of all the universities that you are seeing before, and the interpretation of that students did in this task, in order to create a global interconnection of works of students, and still remaining in the sphere of education of young generation. Let me inform that we are recently resumed, let's say again, the program of internship in Florence, and Anastasia, she is connected with us, is the evidence of that program. And of course, we are glad to invite Academy of Arts of Watch to consider the possibility for future internship in Florence for their students, of course, in the field of life beyond tourism. Come back to the exhibition, Florence in the World. These are just one of the pictures and the series of patrons of the exhibition. But later, Corinna, she is the author, will explain you better the concept of this exhibition that, as I told you before, would like to offer the interpretation that we did of Florence and surrounding, of Florence cultural expressions, according to our vision of life beyond tourism. Other details of the exhibitions, 14 panels with 3 photos each, depicting Florence in its architecture, colors, building. And what is really interesting is that this exhibition, each poster is endowed by the NFC technology. I mean that it's a way to widen the information capacities of those posters, because by making the mobile phone close to the poster, the user will access to further information and insights of each poster. Just some examples. also this is the working of NFC. This is the interface that everyone can access with their mobile phone. Other location of the exhibition, what is of course added. And once received the exhibition, and once the students have started to understand, first of all, the life beyond tourism mindset, and they will ask to put into practice and prepare their storytelling, either in text, videos, and picture format, and also in posters that will be exhibited in this center. This is the Centro Congressi Auditorium al Duomo. Is a magnificent location in the very heart of the Florence downtown, 150 meters far from the Cathedral in St. John. Łukasz probably remember it. And that is the venue of our festival. As just for your information, the program Back to Life, revitalization of places post-COVID-19, with all the steps I mentioned you before, was officially launched last 11 February at the Auditorium al Duomo, at the presence of the local authorities, some pictures. And those are the universities that attended since the beginning that launch. And as you can read, someone already joined the Back to Life project, but we are working in current days for increasing at the most this group of universities that again would like to commit their students in proposing a specific interpretation of the local cultural and artistic identities of the places they are coming from, to produce just a storytelling. I'm going on again. These are the expected outcomes that we wish in the future, in the students' mindset, in the students' capabilities. And this is a list of some of a part of the arguments, the content of the cultural and art storytelling that we would like to ask to each group of students participating. So a description of the area that the student would like to present, city, town section, points of cultural interest, itineraries, custom, tradition, local festival, gastronomic specialty, but also any form of art expressions according to the UNESCO definition I mentioned before, are welcome, just for introducing the spirit of the place of the students. So this is how, as Carlotta said before, is just an example of a final work by the Georgian University of the new Higher Educational Institute in Tbilisi, that decided to shed a light on a region not yet well known, Kvemo-Kartli, and they tackle many aspects of that region, from the architectural, from the historical, from the artistic, from the craftsman point of view. This is the working group. As you can see, the leader were 2 leaders and 7 students. This should be approximately the most effective, but it is our opinion, of course. You are free to decide any format of the working group. So those groups in each students were assigned a specific task, and the outcome is the one that you will have just seen, and that will be also displayed physically in Florence during the festival, as I mentioned before. Again, I go on because I would like to arrive to the conclusion that are just as I enlisted here. Anyway, again, before concluding, let me reaffirm that which are the steps that we are expecting now from the Academy of Watch. Is the selection of a group of students that are interested in the subjects, that are determined to enlighten the art and cultural identity of Watch and surrounding, or another Polish area. And after that, I will give them the access to our portal e-learning course on Life Beyond Tourism. Is just a short course, just to provide them some pills, some outlines of the Life Beyond Tourism mindset, in order to be at the same level of communication. After attending that course and following some specific guidelines that I already sent to you, but of course I will repeat it, your student will be asked to give their own representation. I mean, better, according to what they learn about Life Beyond Tourism, which are the best way to represent their cultural identity in terms of text, picture, and video. And all this material will be gathered and displayed on our portal. And this is the first. And besides these, the outcomes of their storytelling will be also put in a poster to be displayed in Florence in fall 2021. So I have concluded my presentation and how this project Back to Life works. And so I now ask again, and I have finished my presentation, and I would like, I don't know if there are some questions right now. If there are, I am delighted to answer, or otherwise I leave the floor to Corinna. Corinna will give some insights on the exhibition Florence in the world, that should be a sort, as I told you before, of example of how we interpret our places, and the course Life Beyond Tourism e-learning that she created in order to introduce students to the world of Life Beyond Tourism.
If I
Corinne,
have a question.
Yes.
One question, because one of the components for the activities you presented was the internship within Erasmus Plus program for our students.
Yes, this is a different. It's possible, but can be carried out in separate.
I understand. This is what was my intention to ask, whether this is a part of the project or this is something extra which should be covered from our Erasmus Plus founding, right? I mean that the only option is that the foundation will help us to find a place, an institution to where our students could go for an internship, right? This is, am I correct in understanding this point?
Yeah. This is the reason why I asked to Anastasia to take part.
Yes.
Anastasia
Okay.
is from the European University, Humanities University in Vilnius, and they were, and she's here, and she's learning about life beyond tourism, but at the same time, she's coordinating a group of students in Vilnius that will produce the cultural storytelling of Vilnius and the surroundings. So this is, how can I say, a favorable coincidence of two different aspects that at the beginning was conceived separate. So
I believe, Simona, that I can actually describe it a little bit later. Describe my experience with the Erasmus program. If Ms. Bloch, if I'm not mistaken, if you're interested in that, we can go back to the question, but a little bit later.
Okay, it can be answered later. My intention was to ask whether there is a kind of project within the Life Beyond Tourism within Erasmus Plus, or Erasmus Plus is something separate from Life Beyond Tourism, which is. But we can discuss how to arrange the possible internship for our students abroad. Not, of course, if there is an option, I would be glad to get some information.
Of course. I will send, or Lukasz can share with you my email address, or I write right now my email address, and I send to everybody, and we can later let's later we can set a contact for the details of the participation.
Thank you.
So Corinna,
Okay.
so I need to do something, or
yes, you need to allow me to share the screen so that I can share some slides. But in the meanwhile, just a few more notes about the exhibition. So I was in charge of the curatorship and the production of the material of the first exhibition in Florence. And so what I would like to stress is also that this was a personal representation. So I decided to use photography because it's one of my languages, but it might be also others, especially with your students that might be very creative. I would not force them in the time that they will think about their own representation of their territory in using photography, for example. And also the fact that I chose to make the triptychs. So I'm an architect, so I'm used to an urbanist. So I'm used to look at the city and then go down, scaling down until the house and so on. So this was my approach of description and narration of the cultural identity of my own city. So what is important, I think, is that the student in a certain way feel guided in doing this representation, but at the same time they are very free to express the true cultural identity of the place. And they also select what they want to tell. They can provide a lot of different types of material, because also being linked to a web page, they are free to use also videos or other type of information, writing down and so on. So Simone and the Secretariat prepared also guidelines for the production of the basic materials, But then beside that, I'm also at your disposal when you will think about that in thinking it with you. I mean, for any type of suggestions and yeah, also brainstorming in the brainstorming moment. And if I can share yes, I can share my desktop. Okay, you can see my screen, isn't it? You can see it?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, super. So, dzień dobry. I was supposed to start with the dzień dobry. So I will briefly introduce you the range of educational activities that we prepared for very transversal users. Because you know that our aim is to protect and enhance the local cultural identities. And the main principle that is behind our philosophy, our activity, is that seeing the multiculturality of people that World Heritage Sites and heritage and architecture and culture in the widest sense attract. We have an enormous opportunity, and we have the responsibility of using this opportunity for the common good. So I used to show this picture. I took this picture. It was a pretty rainy November day in 2011. And this is the Galleria degli Uffizi Square. So it's one of the most important highlights in Florence. If you pass by Florence, you will for sure visit this square because the Uffizi Gallery is there. So this is the crowd that was there in that pretty low season and rainy day. And this, we are used to see this as over tourism, as a bad phenomenon. And despite the situation that we are living now, the COVID, we have to think how not to go back to this, but how to go back to something better. But what does mean something better? And what we say is that if we zoom in this picture, in this crowd, we will see that there's an enormous amount of cultures that meet in this square. So there's an important opportunity of dialogue among cultures that is given by heritage. And so we can stimulate these people here to exercise dialogue, tolerance, respect that are essential for people's peaceful coexistence. So if the travel is no more something that is just egoistic, that is done for something that you do for learning or for your pleasure or for your personal satisfaction, but you start sharing and giving something to the place that you are visiting, given the numbers of tourism, we could make really the difference. So from this basis, the movement Life Beyond Tourism was born and is providing also a new commercial offer that is focused on ethics and is addressing, so to change the things, the movement is addressing to very different targets, from the individuals to institutions to companies. And the activity that we are doing is also working through an active and participatory research through the network of the Fondazione Romualdo Del Bianco. And we always share all the activities that we are doing in publications, articles, book that we share with the InfoKit and that are available for download for all the members on lifebeyondtourism.org. And since 2000, we shared around 40 publications, and among which some are, of course, some milestones in our research. For example, 2016, in which we brought to the attention the fact that World Heritage Sites have this responsibility for creating opportunities of dialogue among cultures and putting in relation the UNESCO Conventions 1972, 2003, and 2005. And then in 2019 with World Heritage for Building Peace, so giving to World Heritage the new role of peace builder. Then, for example, the last 3 publications were the proceedings of the 2020 forum, in which your university is, with the publication of Lucas, that is called Building Peace Through Heritage. So it's a very collective and choral work, over 140 authors, reflecting on the topics related to heritage and opportunities of peace building. So to cover this transversality of our targets, of the involvement of the learning communities, as Carlotta was mentioning, we provided an educational offer that is fragmented, let's say, in different targets. The first part is for businesses and institutions, because we created a certification for those activities that want to insert dialogue among cultures within their products. And you can imagine it's not easy to certify something that is so intangible and to sell a product that is including something so intangible. So we created the certification of quality and an e-learning program that is free for all those small businesses and institutions that want to do that. So it was the first e-learning, because we were thinking that they were doing this course in their free time and so on. So a couple of years ago, we started this program. Then there's another program that is for trainers. So we created a training for trainers intensive course that is usually held in Florence in presence. And up to today, we had 34 participants from institutions of 19 countries. And the institutions, mainly municipalities and academies and universities. So we train our municipal members or professors that then go back to their institutions and spread what they learned in their own country, adapting it to their own context. This is why it's very important for us to doing it in Florence, so that we can give them the in-field references and case studies. And then the third part, and here we are, the university students. So we have a very long tradition of activities for university students. So the foundation started with it, with workshops. So with over 30 years of experiences in creating dialogue among cultures through international students workshops, usually in Florence. And then we took the chance of 2020 situation to create a new branch of our e-learning activities with new courses for university students. So for bachelor students, for example, these are some of the workshops experiences that we had in their own institutions. So since 2014, we teach our topics at the Josai International University in Tokyo. Then in 2016, we held a workshop at the Azerbaijan University of Architecture and Construction. And in 2020, a workshop at the University of Economics and Business of Prague. We are working again in Erasmus Plus, but in the creation of contents, especially in master courses. We are about to finish the second Erasmus Plus project for the creation of master curricula, both of them, for architects, conservators, urban designers, archaeologists, and landscape designers. The first one was called SURE, and we ended it in 2019, Sustainable Urban Rehabilitation in Europe. That is now implemented in its pilot version at the Polytechnical Schools of Madrid, Vilnius, Lublin, and the University La Sapienza in Rome. And the one we are about to finish is UNINET, University Network for Cultural Heritage, Integrated Protection, Management and Use. So we created 4 courses within this master's in which we explain these topics of life beyond tourism. And then the new e-learning that I was mentioning, that is for university students again, and is available on the Udemy platform, that is called Travel to Dialogue, Life Beyond Tourism, Travel to Dialogue, Heritage as a Builder of Peace. And we start in this course with the definition of heritage, intercultural dialogue, and then we want to give the basis for understanding the main concepts of the life beyond tourism research that sees heritage as a tool to create opportunities of dialogue. And it also gives the tools to decline this opportunity into a challenge for the design process at the architectural and urban scale. It's divided in 3 modules. The first one, it's an introduction to the course with conceptual scope and terminology. The second one deals with the topic of the influence of tourism on a site with its risks and opportunities. And the third one explores the life beyond tourism world from its beginning and milestones. And then students are asked to make simple researches, mainly thought by getting the informations in the internet or online, to create their own folder of references. And of course, they have access to all our bibliography on the portal. And then also to children, we have a program also for kids that usually we have online, so it will start as soon as it will be possible. We always keep this our research is based a lot on the sharing and confrontation of our ideas, our innovations, and so on. So we always bring our contributions to international conferences, and we organize ICOMOS International Scientific Committees in Florence, and every year General Assembly and Symposium, as you know, and you took part to it. Just to make a memory of this, last time we met with Lucas, I think it was last time, a very short video to give you the flavor of the days of our General Assembly and Symposium that this year would have been the Forum 2020. So it's nice to see that moments again with so many people. And but I hope we will soon go back to this type of meetings all together. But in the meanwhile, we are creating a program that is looking at the changes that we are living, trying to record and understand a little bit how the different topics of our research and activities, from the city system to the relationship with the rural and the urban environment, heritage, intercultural dialogue, but also how the society is changing during this period, because we know how we were in the pre-COVID time. We don't know how it will be the world in the post-COVID time, but it passed already 1 year, and some studies were done, and also reflections, and we are able a little bit to understand how things are a little bit changed, and what will remain of these changes and what will not. So according to this, we are creating a program that will be the next forum 2021, that will be online, of course, but it's a little bit different. So soon, so I hope that also with Lukasz, with Professor Sadowski, we will go on with our super fruitful collaboration, and get together some new ideas for this, and then 2022 maybe we will go back in meeting all together, and having nice also networking moments at the usual final parties, so all this that is so beautiful. So I leave you with just this invitation, that is the invitation to have a look, that this is also for all the students and all those that are interested into the topic, to see the life beyond tourism appeal to the international community that we created in 2019 during the last Foundation's General Assembly, the one of the video. The appeal is called Building Peace Through Heritage, and is aimed at raising the awareness on the importance of heritage in promoting opportunities of intercultural dialogue. And it's visible on the lifebeyondtourism.org portal, and if those who want to and agree can also subscribe it. So I think that okay, I can stop sharing my screen now. Oh, I'm losing the. And we can. Where is it? Ah, eccolo. Sorry. Okay. Okay. And yeah, so I'm at disposal for answering to any question that might rise.
Okay, so dear friends, we are just arriving at the conclusion, and oh, Anastasia, as I say you before, if and also for the utility of Miss Bloch, right? If you would like to say some words about your experience, life beyond tourism in Florence as an intern.
Yes, for some reason my internet connection got disrupted right in the middle. I think I was expecting you to give me a room, and I've been kicked out of the Zoom room. So again, I'm very nice to meet you, colleagues from Lodz, from Poland. I want to briefly introduce myself and to describe my experience in terms of internship with the Foundation of Romualdo Di Bianco. And maybe it will be helpful for the students at your university too, the Academy of Arts. So my name is Anastasia Kalaborda. I come from Belarus originally, but I study in the Lithuanian university called European Humanities University in Vilnius. We've been partners with the Foundation of Romualdo Di Bianco since 2017 or 2018. And in terms of our core curriculum courses that the students from our programs called European Heritage and Visual Design, students from these courses came to Florence starting 2017. So we had our own experience of coming to the city to have our own courses with our professors and then meeting with the foundation too. So this was how I met Simone and how I met Karina back in 2018. So today I'm a fourth year student. I'm graduating from my university, and I had a chance to have a support from the Erasmus program to undertake the internship with the Foundation Around Bianco. Back in autumn of 2020, I contacted Carlotta and Simone, and we've agreed that we will have this kind of collaboration in terms of the Erasmus program. So here I am, fortunately, although it's very difficult with the restrictions with the COVID, I had a chance to come to Florence physically and undertake the work, the internship with the foundation. Feel free to ask me questions because I may be a little bit shattered in terms of my experience here. I want to address again maybe the question of Professor Bloch, if she's here. Yeah, I see. So this is basically Erasmus supported internship that is possible in terms of the agreement between my university and the Erasmus program and the foundation. So this is how it is. I can add some maybe commentaries on what I'm doing in terms of the internship with the foundation. As Simone mentioned briefly before, I am coordinating basically the work of the students back in my university to ultimately submit a storytelling about our cultural heritage in Lithuania and Belarus. And I've been distributing, for instance, the access to the online course of Karina on the Udemy platform. So I can also share maybe some insight on how the students perceive it, how it is distributed in terms of the department, academic department. And as I did it before in our different other info days with the universities, the participants of the program, I suggest you contacting me if there are students that would like to know some inside participant view of the program. I would be absolutely glad to help with that, to maybe share my thoughts and my experience with it. So I'm pretty sure that Simone may can actually distribute my contact information. I'm not against it in any way.
Thank you very much, dear Anastasia. So, dear friends, we are going to conclude our meeting, and again, I don't know if there are some questions by Miss Magda Miachia. Sorry. I hope to have the chance to learn the Polish language.
Yes, the surname is a bit tricky, I admit. I am a colleague of Ms. Beata Bloch, and we work together in the international office. Sorry, I didn't say anything earlier, but unfortunately I had some problems with the connection, so I didn't want to interrupt.
No problem. Pleasure in meeting you. As I told you, Polish names are a very test language, but please remind that I know very well Stolac, the typical song of Stolac. So all my collaborative learning in Polish is assured. Joking apart, I would like to thank you all. Arthur, thank you very much for your interest, and I'm sure that together with Magda and Lukasz in coming days, we will better tune our collaboration, the commitment of students interested in this project, and again, I'm sure that together we were able to produce an excellent representation of a watch and its cultural identity with your and your students' participation. Carlotta, I don't know if you would like to say just a moment, because
yes, I confirm the pleasure of this meeting, and really that was thought to be a very proactive meeting. So we, in any sense, we must say, so we are ready to start. So just think about what we have delivered to you today, just in terms of information, and feel free to ask, and we can help understand and solve any questions you have. And we are firmly believing that this is a big chance to allow mobility to restart through rethinking in a different way and a different perspective our role, our students' role, and opportunity to make the change. So we wish to have you participating to the festival in November, and to do that, we have to go backward on these activities we have. We would like to have many students like Anastasia to join us in a more physical way as possible, and to reshape relations and the focus of our mission in this moment in the world. And this is what we have to deliver to our younger generation that are, facing this incredible and astonishing period of our lives. So we have to make the change. So we want to do that. And I would like to leave you with this wish, and with the firm belief that Poland can make an important role in this. Not to forget that Poland was, let's say, the first, as the president always say, the window in the center of Europe and beyond in the history of the activity of the foundation. So Poland represents a big part of our heart, not only of our activity. So thank you, and we have a lot to do, so we can start.
So again, Lukasz, please.
Yes, if you don't mind, I would just would like to say a few words. So thank you all for participation in this meeting. One more time, I'm terribly sorry about what has happened, but it's still a shock for me. So, dear Italian friends, I'm in a special position because I had a privilege to be a part of conferences. Actually, I know Paolo Del Bianco since 2011, when I was for the first time on the meeting in Auditorio Duomo. And then I've been several times for the conferences, and I'm really glad that this is a new possibility to extend the cooperation, not only for the scientific conferences, but also artistic activity. So that's why I think this photographical exhibition will be the first event, and I do hope that will be next events, maybe not only photography, but also other media. And also, I'm glad to hear about Erasmus Plus, and thank you, Anastasia, for your speech, for your presentation. I think that this also opens the possibility for our student, and it just depends on us and on them to develop this cooperation to make it fruitful. So thank you very much indeed. Molto grazie tutti. Grazie.
Grazie.
Dziękuję
bardzo.
From me also, thank you very much to Simone, to Carlotta, to Corina, to Anastasia for all your speeches. It was really interesting for us to hear that, and I'm happy that we started cooperation. Anyway, yes. You said that we are a kind of window in Central Europe, but someone tries to break a glass in that windows, but we don't allow it.
We don't know.
So thank you very much for that meeting.
To you.
Arthur has been really pleased to meet you for the first time, and for sure we will continue our to meet each other and enjoy our newborn friendship. So again,
A presto.
a presto. See you soon and keep in contact. And take care of you. All
Take
of
care.
you.
Ciao.
Ciao.
Bye.
Ciao.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Ciao.
Lucas,
Ciao,
you
ciao,
can stay,
Lucas.
please. Thank you.
Ciao, Lucas.
Ciao, ciao Simone.